bow your heads with me. Merciful God, Lord, we just want to praise and thank you once again for being with all your sons and daughters throughout the week. And Lord, we know it's been a busy week as many of the Dodge school personnel or families are out for spring break. But your sons and daughters who are gathered here tonight, Lord, we come to worship, but also we come together to discover old truths about your will and your will for us in this life. So as we gather here tonight, Father, we invite your Spirit to be with our brother Rizo, our speaker, as he presents tonight your eternal truth. But also, Lord, I ask that your Spirit and angels would be with those who may be en route and have not arrived here. And again, Lord, we just invite you to come and join us as we discover your truth about the principles of a hierarchy of food preparation and health here tonight. So I ask that you be with our brother Rizo and help us to be attentive as he shared his life with us this evening. These things we ask, O Father, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Well, happy Sabbath, everyone.
Happy Sabbath.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share this information and this background from Bulletins. I presented 3 health lectures there, and we were very excited. And it's unfortunate, though, that we just, even my families, your families, we just found out there's actually more vegetables than the vegetables they already know. That's what happened is that they get used to eating just malunggay and kamuti tops and all that, and they don't know there's actually a lot more that exists there, because I emphasize on colors, a rainbow of colors. Okay, who was there here last presentation? Who was it? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so yes, so you were here too. 4, 5. Okay, so we have several couple that were not here, but just a quick review. And Brother Marco mentioned about our topic, God's prescription for eternal life. In Genesis 1:35, it says there that and everything God that He created, He called them very good. That means whatever God called very good, can you improve it? No. Can you modify it? Can you do away with it? You can't. So in that perfect prescription, in that perfect arrangement that He made, He gave us 3 needs. He gave us physical needs, He gave us spiritual needs, He gave us social needs. Okay? And then with that need, He gave us the provision to meet those needs. So for our physical need, He provides us food. Or what kind of food? Plant-based foods. Okay? So plant-based foods, and that means that when He said plant-based food is the perfect food, that means you cannot modify it, you cannot improve it, or you cannot do away with it. Okay? So the same thing, the second prescription for eternal life is spiritual need. And what did He provide for that? Sabbath keeping. Not just any Sabbath, it is the 7th-day Sabbath. That's the spiritual need. And then the third one, what is the basic makeup of a society? Marriage. Okay? So marriage, not just any marriage, not between man and man, not between woman and woman. It is between between woman and woman. Okay? It is only between man and woman. You cannot improve it, you cannot do away with it, you cannot change it. Okay? This is a perfect prescription for eternal life. So my program, I focus on the physical needs. Okay? Because as far as spiritual needs, that's pastor's job. Social needs, that's pastor's job. So what I emphasize, what I focus on, is our physical need. Okay? And in that presentation, I pointed out that there's no, I don't know if I mentioned it, there's no kitchen in the Garden of Eden. Okay? There's no kitchen there. There's no pots, there's no pans. Okay? There's no fire to be turned on. Because what? How do they consume the food there? Okay? When they pick it up, they eat it directly. Okay? Because does God need our help?
No.
No, definitely not. So in other words, when He gave us an apple, eat it as an apple, not as an apple pie. Okay? So when God gave you a banana, eat it as a banana, don't make a banana peel out of it. Okay? Because it's an insult to God if we modify what He created. So when He gave it to you as a cabbage, eat it as a cabbage. Not anything else that would alter its form. Okay? So that's why tonight's lesson is talking about, because after sin, the Noahic died, for example, they started cooking already. Okay? Even the antediluvian died, that's already, they started cooking, and including using oil. Okay? So I'd like to share with you scientific evidence of why type of preparation may not be healthy. Okay, so that's a hierarchy of food preparation. Just a quick review. This is the cause of death in the U.S. Now, you have to realize the U.S. is a trendsetter. Whatever the U.S. had is adapted mostly throughout the world, and whatever, for example, the diseases in the United States, wherever there's fast foods that came from the U.S., it will be imported as well, along with it. Okay, in the 1960s and 70s. The universities, medical schools in Japan, China, and the Philippines, or Asian medical schools, they have to import cadaver from the U.S. to study atherosclerosis, the hardening of the artery, because they don't have that here in Asia. Okay, so they have to buy cadavers to study atherosclerosis. Now, when fast food came to Japan and China, they don't have to buy cadavers back in the state anymore because they have it here now. And that's what's going on also in the Philippines. Okay? So that's what happened. And this is very sad, of course. The standard American diet is sad because 62% processed foods, 25.5% meat, eggs and dairy, 10% unrefined food, 2.5% whole grains. This is the reason why we are dying prematurely. Because of this top two here. And it would have been, because what happened? Most of the food, you go to the grocery store, most of the food there are man-made. Okay? They are processed and ultra-processed. The only processing of food that we should be doing is to peel it or to chop it. That's it. And the actual processing will happen inside of our stomach. Okay? But ultra-processed, like for example, you look at the grocery store, what percentage of the store are relegated to produce fresh foods? What percentage of the whole store? Only one aisle. So only one, right there. Otherwise, they're all in boxes, in cartoon, and glass. They're all preserved. So this is what happened. So these are the hierarchy of food preparation. There are 4 terms: the types of food preparation, the description, and the portion. Okay? So it's easy to remember this term. Okay? Because biogenic. Bio means what? Life. Wow, I'm a smart student here. Okay? And how about genic? What does it mean? They're like Genesis, birth or beginning. Okay? So that means life-giving. Okay, bio means life, and genesis means giving or start or beginning, something like that. So biogenic. Okay, so this is the term that will promote life, will give life. Now we should be eating in this type of preparation. We should be eating 25% from this group. Preparation. Now, we're going to explain it later. What are they? The next term is bioactive. So, bio again is life. Active means, it will sustain us. Life sustaining. What percentage we should be eating from this group? It should be 50%. That means most of our food should be coming from this group. Bioactive food hierarchy. Okay. The next one, biostatic. Static means it doesn't progress. You'll stay where you are. It's stagnant, right? Static, like that. So life slowing. So what percentage you think? If we have 1%, 100%, what percentage we should be eating from this group?
0.
Well, we still have 71%. So that means
maybe
25%. You know why? Because, so what percentage, what number do you think would go on the last one? 0. Okay? And what are they? It's called bioacidic. Life, bio means life, acidic means acid. That means destroying, life destroying. And what percentage? 0. Okay? Now what are biogenic food? Let's find out what are biogenic food. Okay, this is living foods or sprouts or foods that's still growing. Now the highest concentration of nutrients is when foods are still in its early stage. Okay, sprouting is the best, that's where you get the nutrients the plants can give if you do sprouting. You eat some sprouts, right? Okay, like bean sprouts, alfalfa sprouts. Any seeds actually you can sprout them. And you eat them as it is, without cooking them. Okay? And so the nutrients, when you eat living foods, that means most all its nutrients will go directly to the cellular level. Remember last week, I told you we're not feeding our mouth, we're feeding our cells. And we have how many cells we have in our body? Maybe you know how many cells we have in our body? 20 million? A lot more than that. How about 150 trillion cells? Okay? And you have to feed each of them. So every time, whatever food, so this is what happens. When you put some food in your mouth, you either kill those cells or you strengthen most of those cells. Okay? Because every day we have like 300 million cells die and needs to be replaced. Okay? And so even in our tongue alone, our taste buds is replaced every 7 days. So those cells in there is replaced. If they die, it needs to be replaced. Our intestine, the lining, is replaced every 4 days. And you know you have totally new cells every 7 years, the whole entire body. Because when your adult cells is only replicated, whatever form it is replicated. Okay? So most of the cellular level. How about bioactive foods? What are they? They are prepared raw and whole, okay, without cooking them. So what happens is 30% to cellular level, juice and consume immediately, 90% to cellular level, dehydrated or dry, loses 2 to 5% of nutrient value, and frozen, it will lose 5 to 30% of them. Now, because the best way to eat food is that immediately after you pick them, okay? Because the day, as the time goes by, the nutrients starts to lose, okay? So, this is the bioactive, and what percentage we're supposed to be eating from this group? 50%, okay, 50%. All right, the biostatic one, the life slowing. And you can see the pictures right there. This is now overly cooked, they're preserved, they're some additives were already in there, okay? So when you steam foods, loses 15 to 60%. That's why 118 degrees, if you cook something 118 degrees or lower, it's still considered raw. The food molecule has not been destroyed yet. Okay, so you can blanch vegetables, okay, so it will start, but it will still start losing value. The leftovers, raw leftovers, you will start losing 20 to 7% values. Cooked, when you start cooking food, you lose 40 to 100% of the nutrient value. Now we're just talking remember last week I mentioned that there's two categories of human nutrition, the body, the nutrients that the human body needs. The macronutrients and the micronutrients. The macronutrients has calories. They're the ones that provide energies to our body. Fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. However, this does not protect us from diseases, the macronutrients. It is the micronutrients that protect us from any diseases. So what are they? The vitamins, minerals, and water. Okay? So, in other words, these nutrients that are losing here are the micronutrients. Okay, you still have the macro. That's why you keep eating whatever you're eating, white rice and fish or something like that. You're only consuming macronutrients. You're not consuming any of the micronutrients. So that's why people get sick because they have no protection. And I'll show you some more numbers here, okay? It's like a staggering numbers. Okay, so cooked leftovers, it's 100% loss of nutrients. So these are biostatic already. This is already life slowing. We can still consume 25% from this group because there are some foods that actually the nutrient value increases when you cook them, like tomatoes. Okay, tomatoes needs to be cooked to get the lycopene out of it. Okay, and beans, of course, needs to be cooked, and grains needs to be cooked. Okay, to bring out some of its nutrient value. Okay, and become edible. Okay, so but every time you cook foods, you lose a lot of nutrients already. So they start to slow life. Okay, now the last category, remember what's the last category? Bioacidic. Okay, acidic because it's acidic, it is life destroying. So how can food become bioacidic? Okay, number one, microwave. If you microwave food, it loses 90 to 99%, plus it will add toxins. The food becomes toxic because totally the food molecule is destroyed, bombarded by microwave radiation. So it becomes totally, yes, you could still have some macronutrients in it, you still have the fats and the calories, but totally there's absolutely no nutrients in them. It just makes you full and happy, okay? But fill your stomach, but there are no nutrients in them. Well, another one. Commercially canned foods, whenever foods are preserved and put in a can, okay, what happened? 100% loss of nutrients plus toxins again. Okay, plus toxins. That's why we are advised not to eat anything from this group. But guess what? In those four categories, what group do you think we eat the most from? These bioacidic right here. And the second one is biostatic. And no wonder why we're getting sick. Is it no? Okay, fried foods is the worst way to prepare your food. Okay, not only oil by itself, oil is concentrated fat. Okay, if there's some good oil out there, would be olive oil that's pressed, not heated. If you press it, but then don't use it as for cooking, use it as a salad dressing. That would still be good because it did not subject the olive through by heating, okay? So you could still use that one. But whenever you fry, even if it is, and you know what? Olive oil is not actually made for cooking. Okay, it become actually that's what we're talking about, acidic, right? Okay, and also foods with additives, you know that. A lot of foods right now, a lot of additives in them, thereby become, so anything away from the produce section is either biostatic or bioacidic. Okay, bioacidic. So 100% loss of nutrients plus toxins. So these are the food types, okay? Biogenic, life-giving 25%, bioactive, life-sustaining 50%, biostatic, life-slowing 25%, bioacidic, life-destroying should be 0%. But sadly, we reverse that. This become 50, this become 25, this become 25, and almost this one is 0. Okay, we reverse that. Okay, now again, who designed that? Not the scientists who just discovered it. It was written a long time ago. Okay, God designed him as this prescription because the Edenic diet is a raw diet. Okay, now, so this is the advice now in our culture nowadays. At least this is the best way that we can at least live healthy. 80% raw, 20% cooked. Okay? So it should be more raw than cooked. And like I always said, and usually when, did you notice people's plate? Now, when you think of salad, what is it? Is it a main dish or a side dish? Is it a main dish or a side dish?
It is considered as a side dish.
It is considered a side dish. That is also reversed. Okay? Salad should be the main dish and everything else. So, but in other words, fill yourself up with fruits and vegetables. And then if you have room left, then you can eat something cooked. You can't go wrong.
Okay, so we got it around. So at least when you look at your plate, make it half of it right away. Boom, fill it up with fruits and vegetables. And then a quarter of it, you put your cooked grains, and a quarter of it should be your protein. Okay? And after the lectures that I've given in the Philippines, I gave them a feast. So I went to the market with them. It was at midnight. We went to fresh fruit. The farmers would go down to one street, so we buy all these vegetables and fruits. And again, they're very surprised. There's a lot more fruits and vegetables out there that they don't know. Okay, so with the next day, the last day, I made a feast. And if you have Facebook, maybe Marissa one day can show it to you, the pictures. And they don't want to touch it because it's so beautiful. There's a lot of colors. Okay, so that's why your plate should be very colorful. And I told them, and they said, so remember, I gave you numbers last week, right? Okay, how many colors? Five colors. Okay, how many varieties? 5 varieties. Okay, you know why? Because each color represents something, some nutrients. There's a more good concentration of certain nutrients. And vitamins and minerals work as a team. And some people, like a lot of them in the audience said, oh, I cannot eat beans because of my gout. Now, the reason why you got gout, because of your imbalance or imbalanced nutrients that your body is taking in. Because what happens is, each of the nutrients has to be present for it to be effective. Just like I mentioned last week, like a basketball team. You take out one, the center, for example, or whatever position, because they play basketball, but they cannot win. So this is what happens. If you eat a lot of mungo beans, or whatever beans, and the other nutrients are absent, guess what? The body will absorb everything, the nutrients of that beans. Okay? However, if you eat all of the nutrients present, the body will only absorb the right amount. That's why if you're eating a rainbow of colors of food, your body is being supplied with all of its nutrients in its right amount. So you could never overdo them. Because what happens is, if you have mango, for example, and you have greens, other greens, you have reds in there, and purple, and whatever colorful color in your plate, something like that, it will not absorb the nutrients, all the nutrients from that beans. It will only absorb the right amount. Okay? So, in other words, if you have gout, you have autoimmune disease, it is because your body is out of tune. Okay, it's out of tune, and it cannot be tuned, and it can be tuned up. You know, you can detoxify your body and start anew. You know, people, when you are sick, for example, you got to where you are right now because what you've been doing in the past, right? And sadly, in our conventional wisdom, we think that being sick is normal. We get sick sometime, in the future. But no, it's not normal. What did God promise? If you obey me, none of these diseases, right? If you follow exactly what He designed, you will not get sick. Can we claim that promise? Can God go wrong? He can't. Whatever He prescribed, you cannot make it better. You cannot change it. You cannot alter it. So you can claim that promise. Okay? So, let me show you some numbers. Okay? Every time you put something in your mouth, you are consuming microorganisms. And the number is staggering. Okay? Number is staggering. Milk, for example, 1 cup of milk, and this is cow's milk, okay? Because I mentioned last week that we're not supposed to eat animal milk, because they are only for baby animals, okay? And human beings supposed only to consume milk from their mother, but only when the when the baby starts eating solid food, then the baby doesn't need to drink milk anymore, because if you drink cow's milk, you cannot process it anymore. The casein, the protein casein in milk cannot be processed anymore because the enzyme called renin, it is turned off when you become adult. Okay? So when you consume a cup of milk, this is what happens. This is how many microorganisms. Maybe you can remember this number. Okay. Look at this. 5 million microorganisms in 1 cup of milk. Okay? And you know what can counter these microorganisms? You know what can control these microorganisms? Only the antioxidants, which only comes from micronutrients. Okay? Now, again, we are eating bioacidic and biostatic foods. There's no micronutrients in them. And then we drink milk along with it. Okay? So we have now some, and then butter. 7 million. Okay? How about eggs? 1 egg per egg. This is how many microorganisms? 37 million microorganisms you consume with 1 single egg. And when you bake cakes, how many eggs do you usually use?
4.
There is that one cake that used a lot. What is that? Your favorite cook? Nigella Lawson. I heard her on the public radio. She was sharing her recipe. Oh, you can have up to 36 eggs in one cake. Okay? Because it will taste really good. Now, what happened is we're driven by taste. People eat because it tastes good. Okay? We grew up that way, right? And if it doesn't taste good, especially young grandchildren, if it doesn't taste good, they'll spit it and they'll never eat it again. Okay? So, how about cheese? Everybody's favorite. How much? 100 million per serving. So, a slice of pizza, you have 100 million microorganisms in there. Okay? How about ice cream? Everybody's favorite. Dairy products. Okay? 225 million. How about beef, poultry, and fish? Per serving, 336 million. Okay? Now, if you look at a standard American meal, you know how much microorganisms you're consuming? 750 million to 1 billion per meal every time you eat. And there's very little antioxidant or micronutrients in them. So who would combat them? Who can protect us? Okay, what can protect us? No wonder why people are getting sick of heart disease, diabetes, all those chronic diseases, and 1.5 million people die annually of those chronic diseases, and they're not supposed to die. Because they're eating this way. They're eating the biostatic and bioacidic foods. Okay, none of those biogenics and bioactive foods. Okay? How about, check this out, up to 1 billion, right? That's a very American meal. What about if you go back to God's original prescription? What God has prescribed, which is whole foods, plant-based diet. You don't know how many microorganisms there is? About that. And not only that, there's only a few microorganisms, and when you're taking all these millions and millions of antioxidants, think about what would happen to the whole world, or in a city, for example, of a population of 100,000, right? Or maybe a population of 100,000. And you have 1 million police force. Will there be any crime in the city? What do you think? 1 million police protecting 100,000 people. Will there be any criminals in the city? I don't think so. But see what happened? We hardly have any, our immune system is so compromised. And people wonder why they get sick. Okay, we're so compromised. So the cure is this. Food should be medicine. These are the band-aids. That's why I push brothers and sisters. A lot of us forget that there are pills out there. Even herbal medicine. You can drink them, but I don't want you to think that there's something exists out there. Because you know why? If you eat properly what God prescribed, you don't need any remedies. Because food is the medicine. That's what God designed. That's what God designed. Okay? So, eat the natural food, and our body should be pH balanced, alkaline. All plant foods will promote an alkaline environment in the body. In an alkalinic environment, cancer cells cannot thrive. They will die. Okay? Now, all foods that's coming from animals, flesh foods, processed foods, okay, ultra-processed foods, it will become acidic. Well, it will make our body acidic. And in an acidic environment, that's where all diseases will come from. Okay? So, Hippocrates, food should be the medicine and medicine be the food. Okay? So, this standard American diet, what if we reverse it? This is what's killing people. What if we reverse that? What if it's sad? What if it is a sad diet? What if we make it into a glad diet, right? Glad diet, right here, reverse it. So look at this. 60% processed, right? This is a sad diet, 25% meat. Only 10% refined, unrefined food, and 25% whole grain. Now what if you reverse that? Make the unrefined plant food, fruits, vegetables, grains 60%, 25% whole grains, only 10% processed food, 2.5 meat. By simply reversing it, it will make a lot of difference. Okay? By simply reversing it, it will make a lot of difference. Okay? So I mentioned this before. Even with just one meal, brothers and sisters. But one meal, if you eat fresh food, fish, chicken, beef, and whatever meat there is, one meal, as soon as it's digested, absorbed, and distributed throughout your system, it will damage the endothelial cell, the lining of your artery. It will scratch it. It will damage it. There's too much fat and cholesterol in your blood, so it will damage the inside or the lining of your artery. So what happens if you get scratched inside? The body will try to heal it, right? There will be scarring. When there's scarring inside, it will trap the fats and cholesterol. What happens? Your artery becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. If it happens close to the heart, what would you get? Heart attack. If it happens here on the neck, you get stroke. If it happens down in your extremities, then you get your legs get amputated because it will cut off the circulation. But the beauty of this is that see all this? The beauty of this is that nitric oxide from plants will clean up your artery. It will dissolve plaque. It will open up your artery. Okay? It's so easy, and it could be you can even see result within 10 days. If you stop what you're doing right now, and what you've been eating, and it leads you, if you have some ailment, if you have some disease, let's say you're suffering right now, you stop what you've been doing in the past, and start implementing this, okay? And within 10 days, you'll find out. The first nutrition research ever conducted, you know when it happened? When did that happen? The first nutrition research ever demonstrated to the world. In how many days? 10 days?
What is that?
In just 10 days. The book of Daniel, you know what Daniel did, right? They were given this king's food. Everybody was excited. Excited. King's food is the best food in the land. And Daniel said, no. Just give us coals and water to drink. Exactly. Then he went back to what God prescribed. Okay? Again, Daniel knows that God cannot go wrong. Whatever God prescribes is perfect. You cannot change it. You cannot modify it. You cannot undo it. Okay? It's perfect. And you can do it yourself. Try it. I wrote a very one-page short article saying I'm challenging people. Try it for 10 days. If you like it, continue for another 10. And then if you really like it, continue for another 30. By the time you make it to 30 days, you don't want it to go back to what you were doing before. 10 days, you can feel the difference. Okay? Alright. Happy meal right there. This is a sad meal. So you see the result right away, right? What happened to Daniel and his friends? When they appear before the king, how does Daniel and his friend look?
Skin was good.
Okay, like the well-being, they are energetic, but you know it. Try, just experiment yourself. Try a very whole food plant-based diet, one meal, and then see how you feel after. And then eat your regular meal, see how you feel after. See the difference. I can guarantee you just conducted your own nutritional research on your own. Because it's just amazing. It's just amazing. Okay? So this is what our body needs: carbohydrates, protein, fats, the macronutrients, and then the minerals, vitamins, and water, the micronutrients. Okay? So people are so worried about, isn't it? If you encounter this, right? If you wanted to say, I want to become a vegetarian, or I am a vegetarian or a vegan, so where do you get your protein? Because we grew up believing that protein only comes from animal flesh. But no, brothers and sisters. See, really nice source of protein. Yes, but in other words, I'm just showing this one. I leave a copy on Pastor. If you want a copy of this one, you can get a copy from him. But you will never run out of protein. Have you ever heard of people dying because they are protein deficient? No. Because we are dying because we are eating more protein than what our body needs. Okay? What they found out, like in the Philippines, for example, when I did my lecture like 3 years ago there, I did some research. What they found out that when the Filipinos were eating just 20 to 30% amount of protein, because they usually the farmers out there, they only eat what they have in their crops. They seldomly eat even chicken or fish. Okay? They found out that living longer and they don't have any heart diseases, any chronic diseases. Now, when McDonald's came to the Philippines, and Jollibee became very famous, okay, they became like the Americans. Their protein intake went up to 60%, 60 milligrams of protein. And they're dying early, having heart attack. So in other words, we are consuming more protein than what our body needs. And protein from plants are the ones that the body recognizes. Okay? Look at this, if you compare them. Kale by volume. Kale by volume, for example, 45% protein versus beef, 25% right there. Okay? All that. So in other words, and then what did they say? How many varieties of food? 5 varieties. And how many colors? 5 colors. Now you have that combination. So if you combine, for example, spinach, cauliflower, mushroom, parsley, all of that, how much protein are you getting? Okay. Now, let me see. Yeah. I think I have, what time we're going to see another. Because I like to give another presentation which is just amazing. Okay, but again, I went through a few sessions, I have 2 sessions tomorrow, but I think you should see this, okay, after this one and finish this, okay, because there are certain food combinations, okay, and so these are just protein. Look at this, cow's milk, soy milk, almond milk, look at it. Calories, 149, and look at the protein, 8 grams in cow's milk and 7 grams of soy milk, only 1 gram of almond. And look, cow's milk, 24 milligrams of cholesterol, and look at this, 0, 0. Okay? So, in other words, you worry about your protein, you become vegetarian? No. Because you have a lot in the right amount, and again, the body will only absorb the right amount. So, these are the food natural colors, red, orange, all of that right there. I'm giving you a copy, I'm leaving a copy again if you want to look into details. That's why I advise eat a rainbow color. In fact, when you look at your plate, if none of those colors, if you don't have 5 colors, do not eat. Okay? If you look at your plate, if your mom gives you your plate, count them 1, 2, 3, 4. Mom, there's only 3 here. And then so mom will give you more of those colors. You look in the refrigerator and find out if there's more colors that you can add to it. Okay? So do not eat until how many colors you have in your plate? 5. And different varieties throughout the day. Now in one, okay, so the 5 is number, the magic number. This is just quickly, I'm not going to go through this one. I just saying, this is just an acronym. Okay, green you need to have every day. If you're concerned about cancer and heart health, you need to have greens, you need to have onions, you need to have mushrooms, you need to have beans and berries, seeds and nuts. Every day you need to have that. A good variety, different colors again. Okay, so let me go quickly to my next presentation. It's going to be the principles of good digestion. And we don't have time, we're going to skip the video. Alright, so let's go. We're going to do a very short video. Okay, well, Pastor is setting that up. Any questions so far?
Yes,
Yes, please.
that's it.
You mentioned about, I heard detoxing. Could you explain what detoxing or cleansing is? Some of us may not know what you're talking about.
Now, this is what happened. Because a lot of people are so concerned about, oh, I heard that this is good, this is good, okay? Now, the simplest way is this. Just to stop what you've been doing. Now, okay? So you're not supplying the body anymore with all this unhealthy stuff, right? Guess what? The body will detoxify. And then you start eating these 5 different colors, guess what the body's doing? It's cleaning itself. Okay? So don't focus on, oh, I'm going to do a wheatgrass detox or juice detox. Something like, don't. Focus on the original prescription. God cannot do wrong. So again, the people, we have that mentality that if we get sick, we have pills. Okay? Oh, I need this detoxification. There are some that would work, like if you're having a hard time. But even if you're constipated, okay, if you're having a hard time going to the bathroom, you stop eating what you've been eating before. Okay? And in fact, there is some scientific evidence about fasting. Fasting is really detoxifying. Okay? Detoxifying. So fasting, you just do not eat and drink a lot of water, eat a lot of greens. Alright? So that's why when people ask me, Rizo, I have stage 3 cancer. What's the treatment? Rizo, I have diabetes. What's the treatment? Rizo, I have this, I have that. There's only one answer. God's original prescription. How many bodies we have?
One.
Only one unit connected to each other. We're not separated. But how many, do you know how many diseases are there recorded? Thousands of them. Okay, so let's start with this one. Oh. I just thought it was straight. There. Sound? Oh.
Oh, sorry.
This is Dr. Hans Deal. He's the one who developed the Coronary Health Improvement Project, the CHIP program.
Oh,
Yeah. So this is a really good thing.
We learned from World War II, from the occupation of these European countries by Nazi armies, who then forced people to eat very simple foods, that maybe there was the key. Now, our diet profoundly changed in the last 50, 60 years. I mean, today, we go to supermarkets and we have 30, 40,000 food items that scream at us, take me, and you'll be happy. And we load them up our carts, we pile them on, and most of what we eat today is no longer food as it used to be. It's a different kind of food. It's a highly refined food. It's an engineered food. It's made for taste, not for health. And so what we need to do is begin to take a closer look at what is our diet like. Just think about it. A simpler diet. A diet perhaps with less cholesterol, with less animal products, without less of the refined foods. If we could go back to, let's introduce more foods like vegetables and fruits, and more grain products, and beans and lentils, and perhaps a few nuts, something can happen. The body begins to repair itself. The body begins to actually reverse the disease process. This atherosclerotic process, this nerve, begins to open up again and can widen the arteries. And the arteries can regain some flexibility all over again. It's not so much that we take some medication and treat the symptoms. Yeah, we can lower the cholesterol, we can bring the blood pressure down, we can do something with the blood sugar levels, but that's not the answer. We need to attack the causes of this problem. And the cause has to do with our lifestyle, how we eat, how we drink, how we exercise, and how we love, how we live life. Are we optimistic or pessimistic? But probably nothing is more powerful. Nothing trumps these factors like a simple diet.
Amen.
Amen.
This is simple. See what happened? Conventional medicine. We go up believing again. Okay, is that there's a pill for every symptom. But the problem is these pills only mask the symptoms. If you have a headache, for example, you go to the doctor, or what you usually do. What does people usually do when they have headaches? Take an aspirin, over-the-counter drugs, right? But guess what? Oh, more than 90% of your headaches is because you just dehydrated. Drink water. This is what you do. Try this. Experiment this one. Okay? And if you get headache, don't take pills. Drink 2 bottles of water. Boom, drink it. Just fill your stomach. Okay? 20 minutes. 20 minutes. It takes 20 minutes for the liquid to get absorbed into your system. 20 minutes. Over and over again, it's prescribed this medication. For visiting. As I sit down, absolute water. Really serious that's going on, okay? But most of the time, our headaches is just because you're dehydrated. And how much water we're supposed to be drinking anyway?
At least 2 liters a day.
Okay. Now, just say we always drink 8 cups, but this is the most accurate one, okay? Think, however much you weigh, okay? Cut that in half, okay? For example, you weigh 200 pounds, what's half of that? 100, right? And then turn that into ounces. So, a 200-pound person needs to drink 200 ounces of water per day. And you need to drink more if you are sweating during summertime or if you're engaged in sport. Okay? So, 100 ounces and 1 cup is 8 ounces. So, just figure that out. It usually amounts to 8 to 12 glasses of water per day. Okay? So, right here, this is what I want to share with you. Okay, so another thing, because we know now that God's prescription, right, plant-based, and the best way to prepare them, okay? Now, whatever you put into your system, okay, needs to come out, okay? And we'll find out how soon it should come out, okay? So, this is what this 5 principles of good digestion. And we finished at 8:30. Well, I should finish it before 8:30, then we can spend more time for questions. Okay? Number 1. Do not drink liquids with meals. Wait an hour and a half to 2 hours before drinking. How many of you have heard this before? Okay, very good. A lot of you. Okay? You know the reason why. Why is that? What's the reason why we're not supposed to drink while we are eating?
It disturbs digestion.
Okay, yes, because it dilutes the concentration of the gastric acid inside. See, this is what happened right here. Water dilutes saliva, 1 to 1.5 liters, all of this right here. Total system, all of this. This would dilute. It should be that we have this in our system, so, and it should not be, if you add water to it, the concentration of the gastric juice will be lessened, and you cannot break down the nutrients. And so you cannot absorb those proper nutrients. Because, I'm sorry? Oh, here's that. Okay, it's okay. Alright. So, do not drink water while you're eating. Okay, and I guess in my lecture the other night in the Philippines, but you're going to choke. What if you choke? Okay, did you have that question? Do you have that concern? Okay, now the solution to that is that how many times you're supposed to chew your food?
20, 30, 20, 22.
32.
30.
30, above 30, 32. Now, did you try that one? Try chewing your food 32 times. by the time you reach 25, you want to swallow it already because it's already liquefied. Okay? So would you still worry if you choke? No, you won't, because you have, Mrs. White said it should be the meal time, should be the most beautiful environment. You can enjoy your meal, having a good conversation with family, right? And chew it up. And you don't even have to count anymore. Okay, this is what you need to do. That you have chewed already 32 times. The first time around, count it. Count it very search it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 32 times. By the time it reaches there, you know the concentration already, right? It's already liquefied. So next time around, when it liquefied to that point, then you know you have chewed it. Okay, enough time. Okay? So that's why you don't have to worry about choking. Number 2, do not overeat. Okay? How would you know that you're overeating? Now, a lot of people, have you ever experienced this? That you're eating, and then you never find out that you're full until you get up. Until you get, I've eaten too much. Because this is what happened. Ghrelin is a hormone that will send signal to the brain saying, I'm hungry. Okay? Ghrelin, I'm hungry. If your stomach's empty, ghrelin hormone will run to the brain. Hey, brain, I'm hungry. The stomach is empty. I'm hungry. Now, when the stomach is full, the other hormones called leptin would send a signal to the brain saying, brain, I am full. So tell the person, whoever's in charge of this body, to stop putting food in my mouth. Now this is what happens. If you're eating a lot of fatty foods, okay, fast will suppress the signal of leptin. So the signal of leptin cannot make it to the brain.
Sure.
Okay? It cannot make it because of too much fat in your food. So you keep eating and eating and eating until you find out, okay? You know what's the size of our stomach? Oh, wow. Look at this boy is well studied. You must have trained her well. Okay? So just right there. Okay? This fits. Now the thing is, when your stomach is empty, the main body of it, the fundus they call it, this is just how big it is. But the thing is, if you keep putting food in it, it'll expand, it'll expand, it'll expand. Okay? Until your stomach, you can't see your stomach. Okay? So it should be just, your meal should never be bigger than your fist. Now, you cannot make sure your food, if you have cheese, 500 calories will always look this much right there, and your stomach is still that full. So you eat pizza, okay? When you eat pizza, you want to eat more. Okay, but you don't want, okay? And then meat, if you have meat halfway there, 500 calories, it's still that full. How about potatoes, rice, beans, okay? And fruits and veggies, this is how 500 calories would look like. This is how we're supposed to eat better, because even if you fill the stomach with fruits and vegetables, guess what happens? When it starts digesting, it'll compress it, and you have less volume in it. But you have the 500 calories already. Okay? So, again, the lesson here is that eat the right kind of foods. Okay? Now, this is what happens, food cravings. If you love chocolate so much, you crave chocolate so much, that is because you are lacking magnesium, one of the minerals, magnesium. So instead of eating chocolate, you should eat seeds, nuts, vegetables, and fruits. You will be satisfied as well. So you don't really know. Well, chocolate by itself is healthy. What is added to it to make it taste good is the one that's healthy. If you really want to eat chocolate by itself, in its original form, raw form, is a potent antioxidant. It's an antioxidant. It is what's added to it that makes it become unhealthy. So if you're craving for sweets, for example, sugar, it is because you're lacking 5 of this mineral at least. Chromium, I can read them, okay, but anyway, phosphate, sulfur, all that. So instead, in other words, get this instead, where does this come from? Okay, plants, again. So you're craving with grease, oily foods, salty foods. Salty foods, you're missing chloride and, what is that? Silicon. Oily foods, you are deficient on your calcium intake, and grease, nitrogen, and the same answer in each of them. Okay? And again, God's prescription, you cannot modify it, you cannot add to it, you cannot do anything away from it. Okay, number 3, regular meal times. Okay, and no snacking. Now, if you eat solid food, you need to give your body at least 4 hours of rest. So that means if you eat breakfast at 8 o'clock, your next meal should be at 12, okay? And do not eat in between, okay? Now, if you, just like what I said earlier, if you feel hungry, don't eat right away. This is what you need to do. If it's in between meals, it's not 12 yet, you're hungry already, drink water. 2 cups of water. Okay? Now, if you're still hungry after like half an hour later, because water is absorbed in 20 minutes, if you're still hungry after that, drink 100% juice as your snack. Do not eat anything solid. Okay? Because juice, 100% juice, is infusion of antioxidants in there. Because this is what, if you are hungry between breakfast, this is what you call, that's what you call toxic hunger. That means your stomach is just hungry. There is the other type of hunger is called true hunger. True hunger meaning, the toxic hunger meaning your stomach is empty, but you still have a lot of energy. Okay? Now, true hunger is when you have no energy available for the body to be used. Okay, let me ask you a question. When you wake up in the morning, okay, what energy from what meal you would be using from morning to noon?
Dinner.
Oh,
The night before dinner.
sorry. Dinner. Okay, just like what I said, because this is what happened. Okay, I'll drink juice, is that one? And I guess, oh, well, I guess I'm getting ahead. Let me just go back here first. Drink juice, I said. Okay, and then the 4th one, what's your food combination? We'll go back to that later, what I asked you, that question. What's your food combination? These are, in fruits, there are sweet fruits, subacid fruits, and acid fruits. Okay? Proteins, starches, melons, all of this, and vegetables right here in the middle. Okay, these are the good combinations. Subacid fruits can be combined with acid fruits. Not a good combination, the acid fruits and sweet fruits. Okay, melon should not be combined with other fruits. Should be eaten by itself. Okay, now, all this right here. So acid fruits with subacid, I guess what I'm trying to say is that you cannot mix meats with, what is that? Okay, this one's there right here. Okay, so protein should not be, it's a good combination with vegetables, but it is a bad combination with starches, which means grain. Now, usually the meals for Filipinos, what are they? Rice and fish, right? And Americans do better, okay? But look at this. Rice, I mean, what kind of rice do we usually eat? White. Does it have fiber in them? There's none, okay? Fish, does it have fiber in them? Okay, so there's no fiber in both of them, so bad combination. So if you eat meat, you need to combine it with fibers, with a lot of fiber. Like salad, right here, protein with vegetables, okay, not with rice, right here, okay, it's a food combination, all right. Now also, Mrs. White wrote about this, that you should not combine fruits and vegetables, okay, so you don't eat them at the same time, okay, that's why I eat my fruits, breakfast and lunch, and I eat my big salad at night, okay. Now why is that? Because what happened is fruits is that, I'm getting ahead of it again, let me see. Okay, let me just say that already. Okay, fruits, digested in 3 hours, absorbed in the 4th hour. Vegetables, 4 hours, and by the 5th hour it's absorbed. What happens is, if fruits stays in your stomach more than 4 hours, it starts to ferment. It will turn into alcohol. Okay? Now, when there is alcohol or fermentation, will destroy protein. Okay? So it will damage the protein. So that's why it's good that fruits to be out of your stomach within 4 hours. If you combine them with fruits with your salad, your greens, okay, it will slow down the transit time of fruits. It will start to ferment, and especially if you're eating meat, which meat will last from 6 to 8 hours in your system. And especially, and the worst way is that if you have consumed cheese, because cheese will stay in your system for 12 hours. Transit time. You know what transit time means, right? From the time you put the food in your mouth to the time that it comes out the other end. Okay? Should be within 12 to 24 hours. If more than 24 hours, then it would look like this. Okay? And in the bathroom, it should be that the healthy way of eliminating waste is that you sit down, you're done. Okay? With just one push, you're done. Okay? Now, if you're straining a lot, especially you're making sound, that means you have a problem. Okay? A problem. So, and I mentioned that already, let your digestive tract rest. How many hours? 4 hours. That is if you're eating solid food. Now, the way I'm eating my food Monday to Friday, because it takes a lot of time to eat 2 pounds of fruit, right? And a lot of varieties of them, but it's very easy to swallow them and take them. It's quicker if you make them into a fruit smoothie. So I make fruit smoothie, this jar is big, 2 of that throughout the day. So I will drink my smoothie, my first jar of smoothie at 8 o'clock. And then at 10 o'clock I will drink my cup of my green smoothie. Then at noon I will eat my raw sweet potato, one this size of sweet potato. At 2 o'clock I will drink my second jar. At 4 o'clock I will drink my the second cup of my green smoothie. And then at night I have a super big bowl of salad with all kinds of colors in there, with my fruits and nuts and seeds and avocado if I can have some in there as well. Okay? So you can eat every 2 hours because you are not tasking your stomach in digesting your food because it's already broken down. Okay? So when you're eating smoothies, for example, it's already broken down. All the stomach did is just mix it with mix the enzyme to break it down. So when you drink your fruit smoothie though, and your green smoothie, don't swallow it directly. Put it in your mouth, squeeze it, push it against your side to side of your mouth, like this before swallowing it. You know why? Because it will activate the release of the enzyme, the lipase, the amylase, that will break down carbohydrate because digestion of the carbohydrate starts in the mouth. So when you drink smoothie, green or fruits, squeeze it around your mouth first before swallowing it. Don't just chuckle it down. Okay? And in fact, it really tastes good. You need to savor the taste because digestion starts from the time you see the food. Have you ever seen food and then you start salivating? Because the enzymes are already coming out. And even if you just, our senses contributes to the digestion process. When you see the food, when you smell the food, when you hear the food, okay, and when you taste the food. See, all 5 senses are involved in digestion. Okay? Alright, so what's the next one? So these are what I told you already. Meal types, fruit meals, 4 hours, 3 hours digestion, 1 hour absorption. Vegetables, 5 hours, 4 hours digestion, 1 hour absorption. Flesh food, 6 to 8 hours. Dairy, cheese, up to 12 hours. And this is what happens. If you have, for example, fruit meal and with cheese in it, now fruit meals in 4 hours ready to be absorbed, right? Where does the absorption happen? What part of our body the absorption of the nutrients happen? Remember in your science? Okay, where does it start? It is in the small intestine. The small intestine will be absorbed and distributed throughout. Okay. Now in our stomach there is what we call the lower section. It's called the pylorus. It's like a sphincter in there. When you're chewing your food after 4 hours, it will send a sample to the pylorus if it is the right consistency. If it is the right consistency, then it will let it pass down to your small intestine and it will be absorbed. Now, if you're eating fruits along with dairy cheese takes up to 12 hours. Okay? It takes a long time to be broken down. The fruit is already ready in how long? 4 hours, right? But the cheese is not ready yet. So what happened? You send a sample, the cells send a sample to the pylorus, the cheese is not ready yet. It will not allow to pass through to your small intestine. So the fruit will be sitting in your stomach for another 4 hours. And what happens? If it stays in the stomach more than 4 hours, it starts to ferment. It will destroy the protein. Okay? It will destroy the protein in your system. Okay. Cleansing your stomach. I guess they will partly answer to your question earlier about detox. Okay? Because detoxification really happens mostly in the colon, because that's where the waste and the products, the fecal material is stored. Okay, let's look at this one. Very simple one. Again, don't go into fancy cleansing type thing. Okay? Especially commercialized one. Just like what I said, if you go back to the original prescription, you stop the wrong lifestyle that you have now, apply what got prescribed, the body will start cleaning itself. But if you must do this, okay, if you must go through some cleansing ritual, you can do this. 2 tablespoons of fresh squeezed lemon juice. This one, drink 1 glass, 1 water with 2 tablespoons in an empty stomach. So what I usually do, the first thing that you need to do is that, because I said earlier that, I did not really discuss in detail about drinking now, because I said do not drink between meals. When do you supposed to drink? When you wake up, drink 2 glasses of water before breakfast. Okay? And then when you're eating, do not drink water while you are eating. Wait until 2 hours later, 2 hours later. So, when the time you wake up, 2 glasses, you already have that, and you're supposed to drink an average of 8 glasses, right? From breakfast around, if you ate your breakfast at 8 o'clock, you drink 2 glasses of water at 10 o'clock. So you have 4 glasses of water already, right? Okay? Now, after lunch, you drink, if you eat at noon, you drink your 2 more glasses at 2 o'clock. Okay? And then if you eat, don't eat dinner past 7 o'clock. Okay? Past 7 o'clock. If you eat dinner at 7, then you cannot drink until 9 o'clock. You need to drink your last 2 glasses of water 4 hours before you go to bed. Now, this is one of my lectures, and we won't have time to do it, but when is the best time to go to sleep? 9 is good, but at least by 10 o'clock you should be in bed already. You know why? Because you need to be on stage 3 REM sleep by midnight. Why is that? Because your body does its metabolism, its repair between midnight and 4 o'clock in the morning. So as much as possible, try not to wake up before 4 o'clock. Okay? So sleep at 10 o'clock, no later, and wake up no later than 4 o'clock as well. Okay?
So what happened to the people that work at night?
That's why they study, the biggest study, the nursing study, is the biggest nutritional study. They have a lot of cases of diabetes, obesity, and a lot of chronic diseases. Because
they die slowly.
the what?
They die slowly.
Yes. Okay. A lot of chronic diseases.
What if they sleep during the day?
That's still wrong. Our body has one of those rhythm, circadian rhythm. Okay. That's why we have a hard time. A lot right here. I'm starting to sleep normally now because I'm jet lagged. Okay. Because our rhythm will adjust to the sun, the height of the sun from the east to the west. So that's why, depending on what part of the world you are, your body will adjust to the circadian rhythm of the sun. Okay. So, and then next one, lemon water. You know that. You can research this if you want, and drink 1 to 2 sips of hot water every 5 minutes. This is when you have a hard time going to the bathroom. It will stimulate your blood flow. Okay, 5 to 10 minutes for 3 to 4 hours. Okay, fast for 24 to 36 hours. We mentioned fasting already. It will help cleanse your colon, and drink distilled water because less free radicals in there. Okay. And the colon is the sewer system of the body, but when you later use it becomes a cesspool of toxins that spill over into the body. Because if, a lot of us are, I'm getting ahead of my, a lot of us are carrying 7 to 10 pounds of fecal material in our colon. There's a lot of us. So what is the normal? How many times you're supposed to eliminate yourself throughout the day? Huh? Twice? What? Huh? 3? 3 times? 1? Okay, okay, yeah? At least 4 times. That's what happens. When you wake up in the morning, immediately, make your body can be trained. Okay? As soon as you wake up in the morning, sit in the toilet. Okay? And then it will become your routine. So eliminate before breakfast, eliminate after breakfast, and then another one after lunch, and another one before bedtime. Okay, so you don't wake up in the middle of the night. Okay, so at least 4 times. Okay, question? What? Okay. Oh, that's right. Wow. That's like, you are very smart. That's a smart boy here. Your problem with school is you just cannot keep excusing yourself from here in the classroom. Okay? Alright. Now, you can do that. This is what you need to do, though. At least you can do that. How many meals you have at school? Only 1. Okay? So that means your problem would be after breakfast and after lunch, right? Okay. Alright? So what happens if after you eat breakfast, before you go to school, you may pay a visit to the bathroom. Okay? Now, right now, what if at lunchtime in school, you excuse yourself before eating, where did you go? Then it will be included there. Because what happened is the food that you're eating during breakfast time is ready to come out. Okay? So what happened, it should be that every time you eat, it should be a trigger to go. Okay, so you're just saying, oh, maybe because you put something in your mouth, so you should send a signal to the large intestine saying to eliminate, make room. Okay, it should be like that. Okay. Okay, and the colon can expand up to 5 times its regular size. Most people are walking around with at least 7 pounds of fecal matter in their intestine. Okay. Now, how to train your bowel? Again, the reason why we're constipated is because we lack fiber. Okay, we don't have fiber. Okay, so eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. Alright? And then exercise. Okay, the triangle of health. Proper nutrition, exercise, and rest.
So how much foods are we allowed to eat in one spoon?
Okay, now, you remember about how many colors? 5 colors, how many varieties?
5.
5 varieties, okay, throughout the day. You cannot really eat too much of it. In fact, our problem is that we don't eat enough. Okay, so with me, I eat a lot of fruits. There's 2 jars, and minimum 7 different kinds that's mixed in there. Okay, that's why my wife doesn't worry about leaving me now, because I don't really cook food anymore. Okay, I only eat cooked foods when in public. Okay, when I'm in a church. But you can eat as much as you can. 5 varieties, 5 different colors.
Questions?
Yes.
The combination
Okay, that would be included, the soup can be included in that as well. Okay, because what happens if you're eating solid food and soup, and like soup is absorbed first, it will dry out the other, what do you call that, food material in there. Tight clothing, okay, will affect bowel function. Okay. What else? Meat dye has no fiber, so up to 72 hours or more to be moved through it will putrefy. Because meat, what happens to meat if you leave it out in the open for 72 hours?
Becomes
Right. Putrefying. Okay? It's rotten. So, and how hot is our intestinal environment?
35 degrees Celsius.
Oh. How's that in degrees? I don't know what Celsius is. Remember? 98.6. Okay? Can you imagine an environment that hot, you leave the meat out in the open, it will become, get rotten. Okay? It putrefies. It becomes toxic to the body. Okay? So that's why this is what happens. If your bowel movement has a bad smell in it, that means you're constipated. That means you're not eliminating enough.
I heard that if we eat cow meat, we need to have the temperature that the cow has in its body, and our body doesn't have that high temperature, so our body cannot kind of like dilute that meat.
Okay. So that's what the best policy is, that eat like a cow. Don't eat the cow. Eat like a cow. Whatever the cow's eating, that's what you should be eating. I mean, from plants, right? Cow never eats humans.
I'm just curious. How do you manage to keep your fruits and vegetables, like fresh, and how often do you go to the market?
Oh, good question.
Because here it's
Yeah, this is a very good question. This is what my wife do. So we buy all the fruits and vegetables, good supply for 5 days. And she have all this tray, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Monday to Friday for my meal. So we cut all the fruits, fill up this tray, okay, freeze them. You remember what we have in our lecture last week? You can preserve by freezing. So that's what you do. You buy all your fruits, and then you can preserve it. In fact, when I came here, because I'm making my food, and then I'll be flying on Sunday back to the States, then I would not have time buying my fruits and my green smoothie. So what I did before I left, I made one set, so that when I arrive on Sunday, I will take it out from the freezer, and then I'll make it first thing in the morning. Now I have my fruit, 2 jars of fruits, and then my 2 glasses of green smoothie. Okay, and then all I need to do is really just stop by the commissary and buy my salad. Okay, because of course it doesn't taste good if you freeze salad. Okay, you can freeze the fruits. Okay, so that's what we're doing. So you can freeze them, and you will not lose. Well, you will lose nutrients, but not as much. Because every time you eat fruits or vegetables longer than a lot of days that transpire from the time you harvested it, you lose some nutrients in it already. Okay? Okay.
Can we rely on the frozen foods that we can buy from the pharmacy?
What's that again?
Can we rely on the frozen foods in the bag that we can buy? Can we rely on
If there is no, always, number one thing is try to eat fresh. If you live in Alaska and there's no available fruits but in a can, it's better than that. Okay, so but focus on fresh, whole foods. Not on the preserved one, not in a can. Yes.
Because compared to the prices, it's more expensive than
Yeah. I think I will, tomorrow afternoon, my topic, I'm going to try to present again 2 topics tomorrow. How not to die, the time of tomorrow, okay? But I've been talking about that the issue of that issue is called opportunity cost. Okay, which one would really be concerned with? Paying much for this fruit or suffering some type of disease because you don't want to spend money for the foods. That's called opportunity cost. We'll talk about that tomorrow afternoon. Let me just finish this one and you can have more when question and answer. While working on eliminating meat, usually eat with green salad after grain. We already talked about that one. If you need to eat fish, don't eat it with white rice. If it's best to eat it with brown rice, unpolished rice, or with green. The Americans usually just eat meat with salad or like that. They don't usually eat rice like us. Okay, so all right. Another one, inactivity, lack of exercise. If you are sedentary, okay, then it's a hard time. You will have a hard time going to the bathroom also, okay, because you need to be active. Another one, sweating. If you sweat a lot, you get constipated because the water is you lose the water that softens the fecal material. Okay, processed sugars, especially really bad. It will also cause constipation. What are processed sugars?
White.
Processed sugar.
White sugar.
Yes, white sugar,
Fine.
or actually anything that you can scoop or processed sugar.
Oh, ice cream.
You get it? Okay. And it's good with sugar that's already in its processed form, in its granulated form. Because the only good sugar is in its original form. It's in fruits. Okay? Those are the sugar that our body recognizes. The fructose in fruits. Even if you're diabetic, if you're eating a balanced diet, you cannot. A lot of people, doctors will tell you, don't eat this, don't eat like pineapple or grapes or mangoes because they're sweet, bad for diabetes. No, that's wrong. Okay? Because if you eat a lot of varieties of fruits, it will only begin the body will only absorb the right amount. Okay? Alright, let's see. Some do not exercise control over their appetite, but indulge taste at the expense of health. What did Dr. Deal say? The video start? We are eating for taste, not for health. Okay? So again, and the last time I talked here, we talked food or health is an investment. Okay? There's no greater investment than you can make. Because every time you put something in your mouth, you are either making yourself sick or making yourself healthy. Okay? Alright, so that's the end of the presentation. If you have some questions, I guess we are also already 8:30. Sorry. Oh, yeah.
So raw oatmeal.
The what?
Raw oatmeal.
Okay.
The old-fashioned ones that is soaked with the flax milk.
Mm-hmm.
So
What kind of milk?
Flax milk.
Okay. Flaxseed or soy milk or what milk?
Flax milk.
I think it's coming from flaxseed.
Okay. Flaxseed milk? Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's good. Anything like you can soak your raw oatmeal with soy milk, almond milk, rice milk, or flax milk. I have not tried flax milk yet, but I do put my flax seed on my green smoothie.
There is a combination.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. Anything else? Any other question? Yes.
So it's important to eat all those vegetables and fruits. And how about like supplemental things? That they advertise that this is going to give you energy. It contains these elements and all that. I assume after what we learned that because it's processed, then it's not good.
Yes, you answered your question. Okay, supplements, avoid them. Eat the fruit, eat the original fruit. Now again, if you live in Alaska or in the Arctic or Antarctic, you have no access to real food, then you can use supplement. Now, the problem with supplement is that they took out the fiber. Okay, you don't have the entire fiber in them already. Okay, you're missing yourself with the antioxidants also because, and it has gone through processing. You have to realize the supplements, when it says 3,000 milligrams or whatever, however many milligrams in there, it is not that number anymore because it has gone through processing. And supplements are not regulated by FDA. So manufacturers can label it whatever they want because the FDA claimed that they don't have enough manpower to investigate each of those products out there. Okay, so eat the food, not the supplement.
I can ask a question. Japanese people.
Green tea is good, it's antioxidant. coffee, actually, by itself, is antioxidant. It is what you add to it that makes it unhealthy. Okay? So green tea is actually anti-cancer. Very good for anti-breast cancer, prostate for men. Okay? So they have found that some research did that one. A cup of tea a day, for those that's drinking a cup of tea a day, has less incidence of cancer. And you're...
Yeah, I noticed that sometimes when I'm at the store, some of the foods that we buy or purchase, it has what they call GMO.
Yes,
on it.
non-GMO. Okay. Now, this is the concern we have is that GMO means genetically modified organism. What they're doing is that foods is made up of DNA, right? It is the program of what that cell becomes, because the plants has this as well. What genetically modified, this is what happened. Big agricultural companies like Monsanto, because like natural products, you cannot patent them. Okay? So what they did, they modified the genetic makeup of this food. They would blast it to make it, like, for example, resistant to pests, resistant to whatever insects out there. They would blast the DNA of this one, and then because it's modified, they can patent it now. Okay? So what happened is that GMO products causes the highest, increases the incidence of allergic reaction. So your body, what happens is we eat those modified organisms in your system, okay? The body cannot no longer recognize it as food molecule. And then if it's assimilated into our body, if it's digested, it becomes part of us, the body can no longer recognize that our cell, the cell that's attacking is its own. So it confuses the body, so it causes a lot of autoimmune diseases and allergic reaction. Okay, so avoid the GMO products. And the bad thing about it is that even these GMO products is only one-time use. So that means if you're a farmer, you buy seed from Monsanto, this big company, you can only use it once. You cannot save seed for the next planting season. And guess what? Because it's so huge of a company, if, for example, our farm is next to each other, you're using Monsanto products and I don't, if your seed would, the wind would blow your seed into mine, a lot of farmers are lost their farm because Monsanto sued them. Because there are some seeds that's GMO products that's growing in their farm. And again, it's true. Watch the documentary Food Inc., and there's a lot more food documentaries out there. Monsanto is a big company, and ConAgra, another big company. They're controlling the food production, you know, and there's now GMO salmon even. You heard that? And so they are genetically modified. And again, what did they say? What did God create? Perfect. Can you modify it? You can't. Can you add to it? No, you cannot take anything away. God created everything perfect, so we cannot make it better.
So
Okay.
we have to see the label and choose the food that is non-GMO.
Yes, it would say non-GMO. Okay, so non-GMO products.
So it says vegan, it's also good.
The what?
It also good, it says vegan, it's also good.
Yes. Okay. But again, it's our food factories. We just have to trust them, because if you find out you can sue them, they'll be bad for your reputation. So we can at least trust that they're doing an ethical, they're running an ethical business. When they say vegan, that it is really vegan. But we have to put faith in what food that we're eating, because unless you grow them yourself, you prepare them yourself, you cannot really know. Okay? All right.
What do you say about caffeine? Like, you mentioned chocolate and tea, those contain caffeine. And I heard it's not good for our body. Do you have any specific?
You know, I really believe that everything, the plants out there are not harmful. Okay? Caffeine, of course, it interferes with our, what do you call that, nervous system. Okay, nervous system. And coffee and chocolate has those contents in there. But they are considered antioxidant. But if it's consumed, for example, in moderate amount, it will not harm your body. Plus, again, if you're eating a balance of food with all the nutrients, the body will also only absorb the right amount of caffeine that your body needs to keep you alert. Okay? Now, what makes coffee or caffeine bad is people are consuming them in high amount, especially energy drinks. They call it energy because all it does really is caffeine. And a lot of young people are dying because they're drinking those giant energy drinks. And all this is sugar and super high amount of caffeine. That's why their heart they have atrial flutter. The heart cannot handle it because there's too much caffeine flowing in the system. But if you consume the right amount, like tea, for example, green tea, it has less, half of the amount of caffeine in a cup of it, then it'll be actually good for your body. The antioxidant content in it. Okay? Alright, any other question? One more?
Oh, she has a question, the Yakult and yogurt.
Okay, they have milk products from cow's factory.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is Yakult before.
Yes. They're highly processed already and they're milk products. Okay, even if it's, because milk are designed for cow's milk are for baby cows. We're not supposed to drink them. Because you know why? You cannot absorb the protein in it. The calcium you cannot absorb it. And again, countries that consume a lot of meat and dairy products have the highest case of osteoporosis. Now, how does milk companies usually advertise the product? Drink it for your calcium or your protein. Guess what? People that drink more milk has more incidence of fracture. The bone becomes bare. And also infertility and cataract. Now, I just talked to my niece. One niece, she's scheduled for surgery in her eye. I said, don't go to surgery yet, do this. I told her. Because I have one client, experiment, it became an experiment for us, where I work, this guy will deliver linen to us. And he's a funny guy, he's always a happy guy, he tells stories about his life, and he's diabetic, and he's got many problems. And my co-worker, the ultrasound tech, adopted everything what I am doing. This is my number one, prodigy, I guess. She does everything what I do. And she promised me, every time you come here, or if you come here every day, I will provide you with green smoothie. Okay, with green smoothie. And sure enough, he's excited about it. So every day, he only delivers one time a week. But he comes every day. So he's drinking that green smoothie faithfully. And the next physical exam, his doctor said, what were you doing? The warning. Everything normalized. And he was scheduled for surgery for his eye because there's a leak in his retina. So he went to his appointment. And the next week they said, Rizo, Dan, my worker. Guess what? The doctor spent 2 to 3 hours looking because the surgeon, the ophthalmologist, supposed to operate on him, okay, was looking and said, what are we supposed to do here? Because the problem is not there anymore, okay? Because greens, for example, very high in lutein and zeaxanthin for your eye health. Again, food is the medicine, okay? Focus on eating it and forget that there are remedies out there, okay? The only medication that we need is an anesthetic if we need surgery or if we have fracture. The only doctors we need are emergency room doctors and surgeons, okay? And we cannot entrust our health if you have chronic diseases to.
Do we have to put ice or just?
Okay, this is what happened. It will slow the absorption. But it should be that the food should be just room temperature. Because what happened, if food is too cold, the body will spend more time in heating it up first. Okay? It will heat it up to 96.8, but usually cold water is like 40 degrees. Okay? If it's 40 degrees, assuming, for example, you have it will raise it up. Okay? It up first before heating it. Okay?
So no ice, just drink.
Yes.
No ice.
No ice.
Oh.
Okay? Room temperature.
Can we put like example?
Okay, guys, we're gonna go ahead and close out Mark 2 for questions tomorrow, or once we're done here this evening, you can talk to Brother Rizo.
Okay, all right.
We have to close out.
All right, thank you. Sorry, but I didn't.
Last. Like, can we put like kale and the green one with apple together for smoothie. Banana, apple, and kale.
No banana, just apple.
Don't mix fruit with vegetables.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we can talk about it later. Go ahead.
Hey guys, we want to really give Brother Rizo a round of applause. I don't know about you guys, but I have been tremendously blessed because over the last 4 years, I've had the opportunity to experience on my own a lot of the things through personal use myself and personal reading, a lot of the things that Brother Rizo was talking about. And the bottom line is, in order to receive a lot of the benefits that he's talking about, you got to try these things out. You have to give it a chance over a period of time. And just because you don't see results immediately, it doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It just means that it may take a little longer for the process. Because remember, over the years, you've consumed so many toxins and your pores are blocked by all the stuff that you've been taking in. It takes a lot longer to undo the damage that you've done to your body. So I praise and thank God that I'm hearing that a lot of the things that I've been reading and seeing on my own, Brother Rizo has actually validated through his own study, and he's actually living proof that these things do work. So my hat's off to Brother Rizo. And again, if you enjoyed tonight, if you were blessed from tonight, please be here tomorrow afternoon at the potluck at 3 p.m. We'll have another program, How Not to Die Prematurely. And again, this is part 3 or a continuation of here tonight. So with that said, let us bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Gracious Father, Lord, we just want to praise and thank you once again for allowing Brother Rizo to come and sharing the light that you have shared him with us. And Lord, as we take a lot of this knowledge and experience with us, Lord, just remind us, Lord, that this information has always been available to us through your word and through your spirit, and we just need to trust and claim the promises that your word have set before us. Be with us now, Lord, as we separate from each other, but forever in your presence. And just ask that your angels protect and watch over us as we return to our home. And be with us tomorrow, Lord, as we come together once again to worship, but also to fellowship with each other. These things we ask, O Father, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.